So we brought the tractor and the flatbed in town. This summer I was delivering a load of sweet corn and I went by and I stopped and talked to these guys at this construction site. See what they were going to do with all these logs, and they really had no idea. He asked if I wanted them and I said absolutely. So what is it going to take? I said, well, I mean, we got this pile of stumps there. Do you got any spot you can put them? I said, oh yeah, I'll make room. So, making a deal like I always do. Here's our house. Doesn't look like much, but it's gonna be awesome. So I was able to get a lot of my saw logs home. We've got 4 trailer loads home, and there's 4 left to come from in town. I started cutting a few. I'm on my 3rd log right now, and I'm cutting them into 1.25 inch thick slabs, getting them about 11 to 12 inches wide. Some are 14. And this is my 2nd pickup load already. I'm adjusting the chainsaw for the next fresh cut on my lumber maker that I had on my last video. You can see my 12-foot board is only sticking out about 3 inches on each side. So I'm going to get going and cut a bunch up. Obviously I have days of cutting. The best I can do is about 2 to 2.5 logs a day. And there's about 17 to 18 boards in each log. So there's my spiel. And this is the beginning of our house rafters. If you think I'm crazy, I'm not, but I'm close. Not many people are going to cut their whole house with a chainsaw, but here we go. Day 2. So I just made my first cut. I went down 8 inches from the top of the board, and the reason I went a little deeper is so that when I take my top slab off, I'm going to take 1.25 inch board off that as well. If you go too shallow, you kind of get this scrap piece that's no good, that has too much taper to it, but I'm going to still be able to get a nice 1x6 out of it, maybe a 1x8 out of that top slab. So I flipped my top slab off. It's on the left. You can see right now we got a really nice flat top. Now I need to rotate the log, left or right, doesn't matter. I'm going to cut another slab off. That log is so big that my next slab on this top won't cut with the chainsaw because I only got an 18.5 inch saw kerf right now. So I'm going to flip it, take another scab off, and then I'll be good to go. Okay, so here's my log. I've rolled it 90 degrees and I flipped it down, and now you can see I got my board back up on top. Oh, tripping over this stuff. I'm going to take a cut off of the end here, and then I'm going to rotate the log back to the left 90 degrees, and then we'll cut a board. I'll rotate it back 90 degrees, cut a board, and so on until I get it down far enough to the center. So I rolled the log to the left, 2 flips, 180 degrees. I'm going to take 1 more slab off the top, and then I'll have 3 slabs I'm going to get 1.25 inch boards out of, and the slabs are right off to the left. So I'm going to make this cut, and then we're going to roll it back 90 degrees to the right, and then we're ready to start cutting slabs. Okay, so I've pulled 5 boards so far off of it, plus I still got my 3 slabs to the left that I haven't cut yet. So I have now got it to the point where I might be a little bit above 13 on the 2 cuts down from where I'm at, but I can trim it up later. The wider the board, the more usable wood you're going to get. Now everybody probably has their own idea, and some of you are saying I'm doing it wrong. Well, that's fine. This is my way of doing it. This is how I'm doing it, and so I'm showing you how to do it. So the wider the cut, the less saw kerf you're making on multiple cuts. You're better off to take your saw kerf with a skill saw or a track saw to trim the boards up, unless you know exactly the size of boards you need. So now I'm going to finish cutting the whole thing straight down. One other thing to mention, it's important to know how many cuts your saw can do before you run out of gas. So I know with a sharp chain that I can make 4 cuts easy, most of the time 5, but I just stop at 4, refill it, put gas and oil in, and then I sharpen it. I mean, sharpening itself would be a complete new video, but it's different than sharpening a cross-cut chain, not only on the angle, but the raker depth. And you want to make sure that you keep that chain polished. I can't stress it enough. Why do you want it so nice and sharp? Because you don't want to push. If you're pushing on that saw to make a cut, your hand's going to get tired and it's just going to wear you out. It's hard on the saw, it's hard on the bar. Just stop and sharpen it. It takes 2 minutes and it's going to save you 10. So every minute sharpening is 5 minutes cutting. So here's my finished product from this one log. I got 16 11-foot long, average of 12-inch wide boards. Some are 14 and 15 inches wide, some are 11. And this is what's left of it. And that top piece is actually from the log previous. So you can see how much I've used. I leave nothing behind. And we're going to put it in the barn and stack them up for the night and call it good.